Hi, I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets, aka Carol the Coach, and tonight I want to talk to you about partner trauma. And I want to talk to you about something that has been affecting me and my practice. I so want to help partners work through the betrayal, the mistrust, and the trauma that they've experienced by virtue of being married to a sex addict. And I know that you are not to blame for what happened to you. I know you didn't attract it into your life. This isn't because of codependency. It truly is that in most cases, most partners ended up being with somebody they loved and they got duped. They didn't realize that their husband or wife, more oftentimes husband, got enmeshed and involved in sexually addictive behavior that became more and more out of control. And what I also believe is the addict didn't start out that way. He didn't want to dupe you. He may have known he had a problem prior to meeting you, or maybe his problem occurred after he was married or after he got to know you. But there are no bad guys in this. There are just two wounded people that have to get healthy. And what I've been dealing with, and unfortunately it's a very slippery slope, is I've been dealing with a lot of partners who need boundaries to keep themselves safe. So if you're a woman who has found out from your partner, he has disclosed, or you have discovered that he's a sex addict, I know you're reeling. Your whole world has fallen apart. And the first and foremost thing that I want you to know is you have to keep yourself safe. And so you have to decide what would increase your sense of safety and stability. Now, I'm a believer in you finding somebody who's specialized in this issue. A therapist who has their partner training. A certified clinical partner specialist or a certified coach partner specialist. Because we've been trained to know how to help you work through the issue. And I got to tell you, we're trained to help you with boundaries. And yet what I know to be true that sometimes happens in the world of partner trauma is that therapists and partners, you and your therapist, may develop boundaries that are not necessarily healthy because they're punishing. They're not keeping you safe. They're basically saying, you hurt me, now I'm going to hurt you. And so tonight I want to talk to you about healthy boundaries. And I don't mean to blame you, but I know that it's very common to want to hurt back, to want to be vindictive. I have many, many partners who tell their addict spouse, you know what, I'm just going to go out and date. I'm going to sleep around. I'm going to tell everybody you know. I'm going to embarrass and humiliate you like you've humiliated me. I hate you. I want you dead. And although those are all very normal feelings, they're absolutely not healthy to enact. Whether you stay with your spouse or you decide to leave him. What is healthy is to develop boundaries that will keep you safe, that will keep you in a situation where you can trust yourself. So what are some healthy boundaries? It may be healthy if you choose to stay with a sex addict while he works on his recovery. It may be healthy for you to say, I don't want you sleeping in our room. I need physical safety and space from you. I want you to go in the basement or I want you to go sleep in the guest room. It's what I need right now to feel safe as I process the pain, the anger, and the mistrust and betrayal that I feel. Now, that's not in itself hurtful. It isn't. However, it's not uncommon for you to, like a mouse on a screen, 1 minute think, I want you to sleep with me, and the next minute to think, I want you to stay 100 feet away. So whenever you set a boundary, I would encourage you to do so with as much civility as you can muster, with as much explanation of why it's important to keep you safe. I want you to explain to the addict why he needs to respect your boundary and how it may make things definitely better for you and perhaps even better for the coupleship. What might be another boundary? Another boundary may be that you decide that you want to see his texts. You want to see his phone records. You want to see his phone. You want every password imaginable so that you can check your experience of what's going on in your life with that of his. And that is very normal and actually is a response that most partners have. However, we run into trouble when you decide that you want to see his texts with his fellowship. And I realize he can dupe you. I know that he could continue to meet with Candy and call her Joe and put her in the fellowship realm and dupe you. But I'm telling you, there are certain principles that we all have to respect for one another. And one of those is the privacy that your addict should be able to have with his fellowship. So that's where you can have a boundary. But when it comes to fellowship, I encourage you not to read those texts. That's between the two of them, and that's an anonymous program, and they have every right to that confidentiality. And I know you may say, right? Well, guess what? He lost his rights when he screwed around on me. And yet I'm here to tell you that I want you to be the change that you want to see in the world. I don't want you to match the indiscretions, the unfairness. I don't want you to rob somebody of their anonymity if they're working on themselves. I'm asking you to ascribe to a higher level. I know it's not fair. I know you probably don't want to do it, but I know that you can. And I would ask you to really look at a situation and decide, at what point am I surveilling things to make sure I'm safe? And at what point am I taking total control? Because anxiety in and of itself causes that need for extreme control. And if you're feeling the need to control everything in your life and his, that won't be healthy for you. You're going to have to breathe. You're going to have to decide what makes you stable, what makes you feel safe. Hopefully that's a therapist who's trained. Hopefully that's readings. And yet what I know to be true is that readings can oftentimes trigger you. It gets you to think about something you hadn't even thought of, but you need to do it anyway. You may create boundaries that have to do with keeping the kids safe, or boundaries that have to do with he lets you know where he is, and the minute you text him and say, send me a picture, he does that within a 15-second response time to show you that he really is working on honesty. It may be your boundaries are that he has polygraph tests so that you can continue to trust that he is telling you the truth. And you know, I've had several addicts who I knew were doing a good job. And when the test came back that they were, the partner understandably said, I don't buy that. I think he duped the polygrapher. Well, you know, it may have been known to happen in my 10 years plus. I've never seen it happen. But what I do know is that there is understandably a part of you that is afraid to trust because you don't want to get hurt again. All right. So I'm going to work with you on having safe boundaries. The next time we meet, we're going to be talking about what those are. I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets, aka Carol the Coach. And I'll see you for more Sex Help with Carol the Coach.